Larry Gross, mountainstage.org is where you can hear the show if it's not on your public radio station. And we got a great big celebration this week. We're back down in Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia, and we're here to celebrate the release of a box set of the Bristol Sessions 1927 and 1928. So to do that, we wanted to have a show that really was something special. And to headline it, we wanted to have the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and Son of a Gun. We were able to get the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, which we weren't sure that was possible, but they're on the road a lot now, and we caught you in between, I guess, somewhere and somewhere. By the way, here's their latest release, speaking of record releases. It's called Speed of Life. And it's a fine CD made up of several different kinds of sounds, like your records have been traditionally. Yep. Not just one thing, but
pretty much acoustic based with icing.
Exactly, and kind of country based, but with other flavors too, mixed in, several other flavors.
It's always good with this group to hear other people describe it, because when we do it ourselves, it's like, oh, it's really this or that, and people go, oh, but this is what it was to me. I'm just glad it's something.
Well, we got two of the members here that have been members for what now, 40-something years?
45 years. We recorded here at Bristol in 1928.
And it seems like only yesterday when you started. Well, yeah, maybe it was Bristol, California. Y'all got together in California, right?
Yeah, in Long Beach, California.
From there originally. And you started, as you just mentioned a minute ago, I thought of yourself as kind of a jug band.
We were a jug band, yep. We were a jug band with kind of bluegrass influences. Yeah. So, yeah.
So you always played, you start out playing the banjo, John?
Well, I started playing the guitar, actually. When I learned Freight Train, I thought I really had something. Then I saw Doug Dillard 6 months later, and I realized I needed to have more. And Doug Dillard was a big influence on me. The Dillards, the whole Dillards group. It was a time in Southern California when Jeff was learning Ian and Sylvia music.
Yeah, that was part of it.
What was a big influence on you, besides them?
Oh, Pete Seeger, Bob Dylan.
And Jimmy Fadden, our harmonica player, who
I learned Freight Train too, by the way. We all had to do it.
I learned it in B flat.
Really?
With no capo.
I had a capo. I was the first one to understand the capo.
I walked the streets of this little town late last night when it all shut down, feeling stuck between lost and found and nowhere. Using my memory for a map, I went looking for a train on the torn up tracks where the weary conductor just turned his back, but he's still there, waiting for the resurrection, fire from the ashes and the tears, the resurrection. You know, dreams die hard around here.
Suddenly you're at the top of the charts, you're all over the place, and then somebody had to try to define what the music was because they were selling it. They were selling it big time.
Right.
So was it in pop? Was it in country? Was it in whatever rock? Was it in?
Well, they
folk?
called it country rock.
You seem to fit better there. And then to firm it all up, since we happen to be in Bristol celebrating this box set, you guys, long before there was, and you probably know this if you're looking at this, unless you're 20 years old looking at this on YouTube. Then you think that Oh Brother Where Art Thou was the first time anybody recognized music from before 1970. But these guys got together a huge, successful project. Will the Circle Be Unbroken? It was three
I've heard
LPs.
people call that the father of Oh Brother.
Yeah, there you go. It was so big. I mean, I remember back then it was like a atom bomb that went off because it was everybody that was involved in kind of the slightly folk flavored side of country or rock or pop music. This was something that you think, wow, what a great idea.
It was a strange time in radio and public stuff. There were, like in LA, 3 radio stations, 2 majors and 1 minor, kind of. And they would say, this is KHJ, that was Counting Flowers on the Wall by the Statler Brothers. Next we have some Aretha Franklin and the new Beatles cut. But first, here's Joan Baez.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'd play Foggy Mountain Breakdown when it was a hit. And so the audience was being exposed heavily to a broad range, much broader range than nowadays.
Absolutely.
Because everything is niche.
Well, very, very compartmentalized now, but you're right. In those days, the stations could go from one thing with a very eclectic mix.
So when we were hanging out learning folk music, and Jeff was learning Ian and Sylvia, and I was learning bluegrass, and Jimmy was listening to Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry.
Yeah, we all listened to Doc Watson. That was
Yeah, and we all
by
listened
the
to
way,
Doc Watson. Yeah, because he crossed that borders himself. You know,
So a project like Circle was just a natural outgrowth of what you guys had always.
but it was a
Somebody had to have the idea, though.
It was a labor of love, and we met Earl Scruggs and his sons. They came to a show that we did at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, and we started talking about recording with Earl.
Not then. But anyway, sorry.
I started talking about recording with Earl, and then later on, it grew into this bigger idea, which John's brother Bill really came up with.
Yeah.
And you know, we went to a gig that Earl played in Boulder, Colorado, and John.
It was at Tulagi's. He was playing the club for 5 days, and I was taking him back to the hotel every night. And Jeff was in the back seat, and I got my nerve up to say, Earl, would you mind? Would you consider maybe? Would you record with our band on a song? And Earl said, I'd be proud to. And I could see Jeff's eyes in the mirror, like getting like really big, you know. And 2 weeks later, Doc Watson was at the same club, and thanks to Merle Watson introducing him to us, to our music, you know. Daddy, this is the guy from that band, the band with the harmonicas and that Bojangles song. See, because the doorway to all of this was Bojangles.
Yeah.
Jeff finding Bojangles and learning it as a song for his voice that represented the band led us to being on pop radio, which gave us the power with the record company, followed by 2 hits that followed it, to say, we're going to go make an acoustic folk music record.
We're gonna really just veer all the way off.
We got this opportunity to go down to Nashville and record with our heroes, people like Mother Maybelle Carter, and Doc Watson and Earl Scruggs and the king of country music. The king of bluegrass, Mr. Jimmy Martin. That's right, who was a pistol. We love Jimmy. We like to do this song in his honor every night. Try to say it a little like Jimmy would. He looked over at John and he'd go, John, pick that banjo solid. Let's play this little kiss-off song, baby. It's called My Walking Shoes Don't Fit Me Anymore. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Stay on your side of town, honey, I won't be around. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Well, it's a long way from here to over yonder. My feet, they're getting mighty sore. I ain't coming back, you set my mind to wander. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore.
As usual, the guys have put a great mix of stuff on here, from cover songs of things that you would know of, like Stuck in the Middle and Going Up the Country, which you probably have heard before, and then mixed with some original songs that you guys
Now,
written and
when
other
you
things.
say cover songs, I look at it different myself. I don't know how Jeff looks at it, but I think of it as a prequel.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the way that song might have existed
Before the hit.
it was recorded in the
Yeah,
version that you heard on the radio.
Well, that's true, because these are all basically acoustic versions. They're not done in any kind of pop style.
No.
But that's true.
I think John's just saying it's not karaoke.
No. Oh, no, of course not. It's just you've chosen some interesting songs to put your own
Absolutely.
your own touches on.
Prequel. That's good,
Yeah.
John. I'll remember that.
It's like, you know, it's down by the river. What's that? It's Billy and the Handboy.
Yeah, right.
Help me here. The
Down on the
Fogerty
corner.
song.
Down on the corner.
You know how that sounds really funky? It sounds like a street band. When we were playing those 2 songs, I felt like, oh, I'm in Willie and the Poor Boys.
Yeah, on the corner. You're at that
And the
place.
cool thing about Stuck in the Middle with You don't know what song it is till about a third of the way in.
No.
Well, you said it's an interesting thing. He told me if you listen to the CD, you'll hear it fade in, And the reason it faded in because you had a take you liked, but it really wasn't you were just
We were
starting out
running it down.
rough and just
Yep,
doing it.
yep.
But you liked it, so you just faded it in. And
It's
got
like
rid
you're
of it.
cranking up the radio. What is
Yeah.
that? I got to hear that.
Yeah, well, it works. It works. And
Right.
as I listened to it, I thought that's weird. It's fading in, but it's no big deal. I mean,
Yeah.
it worked like everything else.
Fade outs are so 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Fading
Fade
in.
ins though. That's what's happening.
Fade in.
That's
Fading,
the
Jimmy
thing.
fading.
Well, you guys, you're now playing a lot. You're playing a lot of gigs a year.
Playing more than we have in a couple of decades right
Really?
now. Really, yeah.
And why? Because you want to? Because you have the opportunity, or what?
I don't know. The
Everybody
that
probably
payment
has a-
on the truck, I think, is basically. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
We love to play.
Yeah, I'm sure you
it's
do.
Great. So
Are you playing festivals? You playing like kind of for young, old, everybody, whatever? Is you going to the kind of places where it's
Well, like the great
under 30
Cal
crowd?
Worthington said, the great car salesman of Southern California, we look at any deal.
There you go.
So bring it in.
we
Make
played
them an
we
offer.
played Bonnaroo last year.
That's what I thought.
You know, and the Ramble with Levon Helm.
Right.
We've done a lot of things like that. We played at the Bijou Theater over in Knoxville the other night.
Yeah.
And, we're doing that kind of stuff, and then in the middle of the summer we'll show up at a state fair somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all over the map.
Well, I mean,
Where
there-
they want us, we go.
Yeah, there are, and your booking agency now, books a lot of young acts, David Brothers, and those kind of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So I'm sure your audience now spans from 20 to 60.
Well, it's been strange in the last couple years, mainly the last year especially, because the audience in the last 14 shows is sold out, and some of them were. Last night was was on the way there, but we haven't been in Knoxville in 30 years. But it's strange, 400, 600, 1,700 seats. It's like, oh really? Oh, they're coming to see us, and this guy's voice reached a lot of people over the years. And it has.
But thank
Well,
you. I
he's
appreciate
embarrassed
it.
by
I know,
it.
I'm
He
embarrassed
just
by it.
turned red.
I did, didn't I?
But the choice of songs that the material has been that it reaches families. We have countless families in
Sure.
our autograph line.
Yeah.
I quit asking the question. I used to ask, "You're only about 20. Why are you here?"
Yeah.
Because people without parents. Well, when I was growing up, our parents played your music all the time.
Yeah.
Last year, I quit asking because 2 times the younger person said, "Well, when I was growing up, our grandparents played your music all the time."
It's time to check out at that point. This is
I
the way.
don't get it, Larry. But I don't think the Doors. I don't want to name other people, but this group has a strange thing that if we understood it, I don't know if we do. Do you?
Oh, you don't need to. You don't need to. Just come and see them. They're going to be playing more than ever. So when they come to your neighborhood, check it out because they're great. They'll play the old songs. They'll play new songs. They'll play songs from this CD, Speed of Life, and the title song is quite a good song.
Thank you very much.
Itself. And,
Go to nittygoody.com.
That's it,
If you
right
want
there.
to figure out where we're playing, you can always find that out.
Absolutely. Here they are, Jeff, John. What do you
And
got?
there's 2 others, Bob Carpenter and Jimmy Fallon.
Yes, sir.
Head jambalaya, crawfish pie, Philly gumbo. Hey! For tonight I'm going to see Mama Sherry-O. We'll pick guitar, fill free jar, and go. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Yeah, son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou. Thank you so much.